Hi girlies, welcome back to my channel. Today I have the most exciting video for you guys because we are going to be unboxing my newest quota bag. Additionally, I do have a small giveaway at the end for you guys because I did just hit 10,000 subscribers, so that is huge. Thank you guys so much. And I did think that it was going to be better to do multiple small giveaways instead of one huge giveaway so that you would have more chances to win. So I'm going to keep brainstorming other giveaway ideas. But without further ado, let's get to the unboxing. So this one, I think you can probably guess what it is. Like, I definitely stay true to my wish list, I feel. So if you guys have seen my previous videos, you do know that I had a very specific bag on my wish list. You maybe will get the color wrong. I actually don't know. It was on my original list of colors, but I didn't talk about it too frequently. But here she is. Drop your guesses in the comments now if you want to. But I ended up picking up the most gorgeous Birkin 25. So this is a Birkin 25. It is in Togo leather with palladium hardware because palladium was a must, and the color is Beton. So if you guys recall, this is basically the exact bag that I had asked for. I had asked for specifically, it had to be a Birkin 25, it had to be Togo leather, it had to be palladium hardware, and I did ask for a light gray bag. The colors I specifically pointed towards were like Beton, gray pearl, gray platine, and then eventually gray Pantone, which is a little bit of a darker color. But let me first open her up and then we can jump into a little bit of a story time. So she is all stickered up and everything. I still have not gotten around to using her. So let's take off some of these stickers at least. I'm going to take off the turn lock because that one is the most annoying. Okay, so now she is all unwrapped and here she is in all her glory. I mean, I cannot even begin to describe how beautiful this color is. I don't even think that it's being captured so well on camera, but it's such a great bag because in some lighting it looks really gray and in some lighting it looks really off-white. So as you guys know, I'm a big lover of white, so this bag is really transitional for whether or not I want to have a really monochrome outfit or if I want a little bit of gray to kind of cool down my entire outfit. To go a little bit more into the details of the bag, so of course we have the beautiful palladium hardware, and the Beton has beautiful kind of like light beige piping all around. I don't think any of my Togo bags have ever really come with veining, so you can see that it's really clean on both surfaces of the bag, which I absolutely love. I have to say I'm not a huge fan of veining. And then of course it does come with the cutest lock and clochette, but I have never once hung any of these on my bags. My SA and I did pick out this adorable little white twilly. I think it's really great because it does lighten up the bag a little bit. This is the one that has like pencils on the back and then it has a really cute kind of comic strip on the other side. So adorable. And my SA did say that he actually likes the front handle being exposed. Personally for me, I'm a little too nervous about that, especially because I plan to carry this in Asia when I visit this summer. So I don't want to get all sweaty and like have my sweat and oils like rub into this top handle. So a little bit later in the video, I will talk a little bit more about how I think I want to accessorize this bag. But moving on, let's talk a little bit about the story time of how I even got my hands on this gorgeous little bag. So as you guys know, I got my mini Kelly back in October of 2024. So I have been content. Like, I love that bag. I've been using her to death. So I was not really in any rush to get another quota bag. But when January of 2025 rolled around, I did make a couple of ready-to-wear purchases. So I was like, okay, I might as well just update my wish list and kind of just see what kind of colors are going to be coming in for 2025. So during a visit in January, I just casually brought up to my SA that I thought that I would want a Birkin 25 with palladium hardware in a light gray color, and then we further discussed what possible colors I would be interested in. I sent him a little list, which included, again, like the list of like Beton, gray pearl, and a couple of other ones. And then we did discuss a little bit about gray platine because I was initially really interested in the gray platine color because it's a very pretty kind of like light gray, light blue color. But gray platine was a 2024 seasonal color, so my SA was a little skeptical if it was going to be coming in for 2025. So then he asked me if I would be okay with a new color, which is a 2025 color. It's gray Pantone, not to be confused with gray platine. It's a lot more of a darker gray. It's a kind of like very bluish gray. I would say like even a darker form of blue glacier. So it's definitely leaning blue and not a true gray. But I personally really like blue. It is my favorite color, and I did think that the gray Pantone color was still a light enough gray for my taste. It's definitely nowhere near as dark as other Hermes grays like Gris Meyer or Eton. So I said that I would definitely be happy to accept that color as well if it came in, because I do know that occasionally some seasonal colors will be quite easy to get during that year that it's released. I think last year there were so many Gris Misty offers, and so I was hoping that Gris Pantone would be a little bit the same. My essay then asked me when I would want the bag by, and I said around my birthday time because my birthday is in March, and so since I got my mini Kelly in October, I thought that March is like a good 6-month period to have a little bit of cool down, enjoy using my other bag, and then once March came around, I felt like I would be ready for maybe a new bag. So I said around March, but I was definitely willing to wait a lot longer for the right bag to come in. So after that, I really did not bring up Quota bags again. I just popped in maybe like 2 more times after that just to pick up a couple of small things. I popped in once around my birthday time to pick up a little watch strap that I shared during my birthday haul. But that was it. My birthday basically came and passed, and that was totally fine because I already did a ton of shopping around my birthday time, so I personally needed a cool down. And so then a couple weeks later after that, I did text my essay about something pretty random. I just saw on like Xiaohong that somebody got a really cute agenda cover in the Rose Darling cover, and I have been really into the Rose Darling color as of late, so I inquired about that because I did want an agenda to use for just like my personal life. And so he texted back saying that unfortunately he didn't have that color, but then immediately followed up with another text asking if I still wanted a Birkin 25 in a light gray. And I was like, yes, that is definitely still top of my list, but I did say that I wanted to possibly add a couple of colors to my list because one other girl that I watch on YouTube as well, she shops at the SF boutique as well. Her name is Stephanie. She recently got a Birkin 25 in Rose Sakura, and I thought that it was like the most gorgeous little pop of color for the summertime. Personally for me, Rose Sakura is a little bit maybe of like too bright of a pink that I would wear because I am a lot more into neutrals, as you can tell, but I do really like pastel colors. So I was entertain the possibility of adding some pastel colors to my wish list. The only downside to pastel bags made at Hermes is that most of them are made in Swift leather, and I really don't think I want Swift leather bags just because they're so delicate and they're typically a little bit more hard to take care of. So I just inquired about Swift leather generally to my essay. I said I do really like pastels, like I like John Milton, I like Vert Fizz, I like Rose Darling and Rose Sakura maybe, but I was pretty nervous about having a Swift bag, so I asked if it's really truly like as hard as people say it is about upkeeping the bag. And my essay was basically like, yes, it's probably more difficult than like a Togo leather bag or of course an Epsom leather bag, but he knows me. He knows that I treat my bags very well. I don't just like throw them around or I'm very careless with them. And so he said like for you in particular, Swift leather will definitely be totally fine. So if you want to add those colors, that's totally fine. So I was like, okay, I think it's okay to add these colors. Swift leather is definitely not a priority though. I'm still very nervous about owning a Swift leather bag, but I was basically like, okay, if you see any really cute pastel colors, like let me know, I'll definitely consider them, but still top of my list is a light gray bag. I would still love that one. So then he asked, how would you feel about a Birkin 25 in Beton with palladium hardware, which of course is this bag. And I was like, obviously, yes, like that is such a beautiful color. Again, I just love how neutral it is, and I love that it's not like white. I love that it still gives that beautiful gray cementy color that Beton is known for. And so he asked me if he offered me a Beton B25, would that completely satisfy my want for a light gray bag? And I was like 100% yes. And so then he was like, okay, can you come see me later? And I said, yes, of course. And so later that day I went to go pick up this gorgeous bag, and she is everything and more that I could ask for. I did actually turn down one bag while I was waiting for this Birkin 25. I don't think it's considered a quota bag because it was a mini Constance, but to this day, I'm still wondering if I should have maybe taken it or not, but it was a mini Constance in Rose Darling Chev leather palladium hardware, and oh my god, was it so beautiful. I did turn that bag down for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I've always been a little bit iffy about the Constance in general. I'm not a huge fan of shoulder bags. I much prefer top handle bags, so that's why the Birkins and the Kellys have my heart. The mini Constance is also quite small and quite mini, and I've been trying to slowly move away from mini bags. And then additionally, I have seen that there are some complaints about like hardware tarnishing, kind of like transferring to the leather, because as you know, the strap is constantly being like pulled through by these two metal pieces that hold the strap in place. I also know that the hardware gets scratched super easily on the edge, and so those are the couple things that I was just like not 100% set on getting a Mini Constance. And so because of those reasons, and because the Mini Constance was never a bag like on my list, I thought that it required a little bit more thought and a little bit more research before saying yes to accepting any color or any offer of a Mini Constance. And then number two, there is still a chance that it could have pushed my Birkin 25 offer, especially because the Constance is like really kind of up there with, you know, Birkins and Kellys and quota bags. So I didn't want accepting that bag that wasn't necessarily on my wish list to push a bag that I truly, truly, truly wanted. So I thought it was like the smartest decision to say no at the time and wait for my Birkin 25. But now that I do have my Birkin 25, I think I would be totally down to get a Mini Constance in a pop of color. So I just have to decide what color to put on my list. Now let's talk a little bit about price and a little bit about pre-spend. So let's talk about the price first, because this is an expensive bag. So the Birkin 25 now retails for $12,100 in 2025. Mind you, this is before the rumored 5% price increase that is supposed to hit US Hermes stores in May. So I'm super glad that I was able to pick this up before any tariff price increases, but that is a really hefty price for this bag, because last year when I bought my Birkin 25 in July, that was $11,400, I believe. So it's just like a huge price increase every year. These bags are getting more and more expensive. So I honestly wonder how far will Hermes go with these price increases. So in terms of pre-spend, I feel like it works maybe a little bit differently for me, because I got my last like regular store offer in June of 2024. So I got my Kelly 25 in June of 2024. And then I'd placed my special order before that. So my special order, which we thought would take a much longer time, actually came pretty early. So my special order came in October of 2025, but I don't really count it as like a regular offer. So when I talk about my pre-spend, I'm talking about the money that I spent since my Kelly 25 offer in June of 2024. So I went back and checked all the purchases since June of 2024 all the way up until this Birkin 25, and I spent about 1.3 to 1 for this Birkin 25. In terms of the Hermes game, that 1.3 to 1 ratio is quite good. I was definitely lucky for this bag, but if you're someone who's only interested in quota bag, it is a much better financial decision to just go resale, because you can get a Birkin 25 for like 17, 18K new on the resale market. This Birkin cost over $13,000 with tax, and then on top of that I spent about like $17,000 in pre-spend. So that is a huge amount of money to spend on a singular bag. The resale market is quite down these days, so it's a great time to jump and search for a bag that you're particularly interested in if you're not having a good time shopping at Hermes. I of course have been so lucky throughout my entire journey, and that is why I continue to shop at the boutique. Of course, not only do I love their bags, but I love a lot of their other products, which is also a huge reason why I continue to just shop without even having like multiple bags on my list. But truly, if you're dead set on a specific combination, I do really think that resale is going to be the better bet for you, because not only will you be able to get it at a more affordable price, you're going to be able to get exactly what you want. So I wanted to do a couple of comparisons for you guys, because I have quite a few white neutrals. So I thought it would be really helpful for those of you who are also considering between the different white neutrals. So first up is my Kelly 25. So this is my Kelly 25, which is in craie, Epsom leather, of course, palladium hardware. And if you compare these two bags together, you can definitely see that Beton leans gray, whereas craie leans a little bit warmish yellow. I was originally very scared of the Beton being a little bit too close in color to the craie, because I knew that they would both be a little bit off-white. I did know that Beton would be more gray, but in certain lightings, Beton really does look pretty white. And so I did carry my Kelly 25 to the boutique when I did pick up my Birkin 25. And as you can see, and to many Hermes lovers, I think, these colors are honestly so different. They are night and day, and I really don't think that they overlap in functionality at all. So I'm really happy that I have both of these bags in my collection. It was so funny though, because I went to my appointment alone and I just picked up my Birkin 25, and then when I came home, I was so excited because I was like, Matthew, this is my dream bag. I got my dream bag, blah, 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 blah. And so I pulled it out to him and I showed him, and he had two things to say to me. Number one, he pretty much made fun of me because every time I come home with a new Hermes bag, he says that I always say it's a dream bag. Like, how can every bag be a dream bag? But I was like, no, a dream bag doesn't have to be just one singular bag. I feel like you can have multiple dream bags, and honestly, every single Hermes bag in my collection is a dream bag. These are bags that are so beautiful, so coveted by so many different people, and they are pieces that I will keep forever, so they are all dream bags. And then number two, when I pulled out these two bags to show him the color comparison, he said that they were the exact same color, and I was honestly so shocked because I was like, these are so different. Like, I cannot imagine a world where these two are the same colors, but I do think that number one, of course, I love Hermes, so I am very familiar with different Hermes colors. And then number two, I actually looked it up later because I was like, do I really see color that differently than Matthew? And I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but I did read online that women have more cones than men, which means that they could have a wider color perception than men do. So I was like, oh, so scientifically, you know, I'm just a little superior. And then lastly, I did just want to throw in my mini Kelly because this is in nata and chev leather. So we do have three different kind of off-whites, three different leathers, and they're all very different presenting. So I just want to show and compare all of them. So you guys have seen this comparison already, where the nata chev is definitely like the whitest bag in my collection now, because this one is, I would say, like a true white. Then comes my craie 25. Craie in Epsom definitely pulls quite warm, a little bit yellow. And then lastly, we do have my Birkin 25 in Beton. This one is a true cool tone bag, which I absolutely love. I really wanted a cool tone bag with palladium hardware that I could use for the summer. And this one is probably the furthest from a traditional white. So I'm so excited to have all of these beautiful bags in my collection. And then of course, I did have to do my sun and moon comparison of my two Birkin 25s. And I can confidently say, without a doubt, that my favorite type of bag in the entire world is a Birkin 25. I may only have two colors of this particular bag, but I don't have any multiple colors of any of my other bags, so I would say that this does prove that this is quite a special bag in my collection. And I absolutely love just how polar opposites they are. They have, of course, black and essentially white or very light gray. This one has gold hardware. This one has palladium hardware. The piping on my black Birkin is completely black, so it is very completely monotone, whereas the piping on my Beton bag is that beautiful kind of beigey color. So it does provide a little bit of pretty contrast when you look from the bag up top. And I do truly believe that this is going to be like my go-to winter bag. This is going to be my go-to summer bag. And so I am completely set for the entire year. Now let's talk a little bit about accessorizing, because I am still not completely sure how I want to accessorize this bag. So I only picked out one twilly because at home I did have this twilly, which I did think it would go very well with the twilly that is on here. So it is the Bride's de Gala twilly in this beautiful kind of tealy color. And then on the flip side, it does have this beautiful kind of white with like a beigey green, like beigey olive green color on the other side. And I do actually feel like the white color might look best, because then we can preserve that white color on both sides. Or you guys let me know, do you prefer the kind of beautiful teal color? Because obviously the Bride's de Gala side with the beautiful floral coloring is best. But I was kind of having a little bit trouble accessorizing the bag because this color, Beton, I feel like actually goes best with kind of like strong, vibrant colors, because it is a very muted color in itself. So you guys let me know if you like this white color facing the front or this beautiful tealy kind of color. And then of course on the back again we have that white. So yeah, please let me know down in the comments which side of the twilly you think I should wrap on my front handle. And of course, you guys know me, my Birkins and Kellys are never complete without a matching rodeo. So I'm actually again having a hard time deciding what color looks best on my Birkin 25. So please let me know down in the comments. I'll show you two options that are kind of my favorites because summertime is approaching. So I do want a little bit of a pop of color. So I just got the Rose Starling Pegasus. I have been wanting this one for so long, ever since this color came out. But it is the cutest thing ever. I have far more Pegasuses than I do Rodeos, so I'm so happy to welcome this little one into my family. I do have to admit though, I feel like the stuffing in this one isn't that good. It's on the skinny side, and I wish it was like a little bit plumper, but it's totally fine. Maybe the Rodeos just aren't as chubby as the Pegasus is. So let me just put her on so you can see what it looks like. So let me know what you guys think. I think that the camera is washing the color out a little bit because the pink definitely is a lot more vibrant looking in person against the Beton than it is showing up on camera, I think. But I think that it's so cute for the springtime, but at the same time, it is quite a light color. I think all the pastels are quite light, and so I don't want the Pegasus to be kind of like washed out by the overall color of Beton. So let me know if you guys think that I should search for a more vibrant Pegasus for this bag. You guys know that I've definitely gravitate towards neutral, so I don't have any like super strong colors really, but yeah, let me know if you think the Rose Darling suits this color or if it completely doesn't. I do also have my blue Pale Pegasus, which is in the same vein as the Rose Darling, just in a beautiful blue broom color. Here the two are together. I mean, I would definitely say that they're the same level of pastel. They're definitely really light pastels. So again, just let me know if you think that the pastels are just not the right kind of color tone for this bag. I'm really willing them to match because I think like on their own, these Rodeos and Pegasuses are so cute, but I definitely want to get something that really complements this bag. So any advice would be helpful. Rodeos and Pegasuses aside though, I do think that my Loewe Corgi / Shiba charm actually really suits the bag because this charm leather is really close to the Beton color, so I think it suits it so well. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to buy a silver charm to replace this little gold ball because I do want these silver to match, and then once I do have it matching, I think that this will be the cutest combination ever. So as you guys know, I have been sharing my Hermes journey since day one on this YouTube channel. It is the main reason why I even started this YouTube channel, to kind of share a little bit about the process, because I was also a very new customer back in 2023. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and now as you guys can see, I've grown my collection into something so beautiful. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I feel like I've been so lucky, and then also what I feel like is coming next for my Hermes journey. So definitely the number one reason why I have been so lucky is because I have the most wonderful relationship with my SA. He and I get along just like two peas in a pod. We would definitely be the type of people to be friends like outside of Hermes. We're definitely vastly different people, but we share interests outside of Hermes. We chat here and there about a lot of different things completely outside of the realm of Hermes. And the one thing that I'm told fairly often is that I am just an easy client. Now, shopping at Hermes is a very small part of my life, and I see a lot of people on YouTube or TikTok sharing a lot of like guru tips on like how to get a quota bag. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And I don't really want to come out and say X, Y, and Z, like do X, Y, and Z, because I do not know everything about Hermes. My situation is so specific to me that anything that I say really I don't think is going to be applicable to most other people. I do my quota bag unboxings and I share little tidbits of Hermes here and there because I do want this to be a little bit more educational, because for me in particular, if I'm like interested in certain colors or I'm interested in a certain bag, I really like to go and do my research on YouTube, look at reviews, look at different versions of the color under different lighting. So I always want this to be a resource for people to be able to look up later when they are thinking about what Hermes bags to add to their own collection. But that's kind of it. I don't ever want this to be like an advice channel or like a guru channel in any of that sense. So whatever I'm sharing is definitely just from personal experience, and please take it with a grain of salt. But going back to what he meant by like an easy customer, I think what he means is that I am so chill. I feel like I rarely ask for anything. Typically when I shop, I just kind of buy what I see on the floor, because I personally, again, this is not like a right or wrong situation, but I personally, I'm not really ever on my essay about certain products. Like I rarely ask for anything. My wish list is constantly empty, honestly. I only ever have like one quota bag on my wish list at a time. I never have anything else. I never have shoes, jewelry, anything else on my wish list, because when I do end up going into shop, it's usually a little bit spontaneous. I have like one thing in mind, like let's say I want to go in to get a belt. I like go in, look at the belts available, I get a belt. Again, I never constantly ask for bags. I've never really ever asked for non-quota bags because at this point in my life, I don't really feel like I need any non-quota bags. So I'm never really asking for that. Not really super interested in a lot of the other small leather goods like wallets on chains and things like that. When I do bring up my quota bag, I bring it up one time really, and then I don't really bring it up again. I kind of just wait for him to do his little magic. If he takes the time to offer me something, like he says, oh, I saw this come in, super cute, I thought of you, I'm usually down to look at it, and if I do really like it, I'll get it because I do value his opinion as well. But generally, I just feel like that's what it is to be like a pretty easy customer. Of course, everyone's personality is different, and there's probably a lot more people who want to buy a lot more things from Hermes than I do, but I am pretty picky about what I want to buy at Hermes these days, so honestly, I don't go in super frequently and I don't buy too much. Of course, I think my purchase history at Hermes is going to ebb and flow. If there's a really cute collection, I'm definitely going to probably purchase a couple of items from that. And if there's a kind of downtime, which I feel like is now, I don't really see anything that I'm particularly interested in at the moment, I'm not really going to shop, and I feel like that's going to be everyone's kind of spending habit. But I don't think I've ever really come off as like desperate for a bag, and I do think that just adopting this kind of nonchalant attitude where I'm clearly enjoying the things that I'm purchasing, I'm wearing them to the boutique, I'm showing them, sending pictures to my essay, and all these other things showing that I'm really just like enjoying just having a good time and shopping like a regular person is something that my essay probably sees and appreciates. My essay has always said that if you're a good customer and the bag is available, he's more than willing to give it to you. It's not about like being a super high roller. It's not about what department of purchases you've made. It's just generally if he enjoys shopping with you and enjoys the experience that you guys have together when you're in the boutique, my essay is more than willing to help fulfill your wish list dreams. So again, this is my own personal experience. Please, please, please don't try to apply it one-to-one with your own experience. I think every single one of you watching is smart and intuitive, and you'll know exactly what you need to do for your own Hermes experience. Now, talking about what's next. Honestly, I don't know what's next because I am very, very, very happy with my current collection. I don't think that I'm going to put another quota bag on my list for quite some time because I don't really feel like I have any need for another Birkin or Kelly. I think if anything, I will add maybe the mini constants in like a pop of color, or perhaps like another non-quota bag in a pop of color, because I do think having a really pretty like Hermes specific color would be nice, because I do love my neutrals, but as you can see, it is getting a bit too much. I think I have too many neutrals, so I'm really going to put my foot down and say no more neutral bags. Any additional bags I purchase here on out is definitely going to have to be something with color. But other than that, I really have nothing else that I am particularly dying to get from Hermes. I think later in the year, maybe like the very end of the year, I might make a fine jewelry purchase because I am a little bit interested in the Kelly ring with diamonds. As you guys know, I love my white gold rings, and that one in particular I do feel like is so signature to Hermes, so I feel like maybe at the end of the year I'll consider it. But I have done a lot of jewelry purchases recently, so I'm not really dying to have another one added to my collection at the moment. But yeah, this is definitely not an end to my Hermes journey. I think there may be a little bit of pause as I enjoy all these beautiful bags and other items that I have collected throughout the couple of years that I've been shopping at Hermes. But if anything interesting comes along, I'll definitely share it with you guys. Do not worry about that. But again, it's so crazy to look back, and I was actually thinking I might do like a reaction video to me watching my very first YouTube video about my very first like shopping at Hermes experience, because it is like so vastly different from what I ever imagined it to be. So I think it will be quite fun and interesting for me to kind of go back and look at that, because I have not looked at that video in so long, but I do remember what I said in that, and it is very different than how my journey went along at this moment. Without further ado, let's get to the little giveaway. So of course, it had to be a little something from Hermes since this is a big Hermes unboxing, but in my last birthday unboxing, somebody mentioned that they love this particular color, and I love this color as well, so I thought that it would be so fitting to gift one of you guys this gorgeous little Bastia in the gorgeous mauve pale coloring. And this one is particularly special because it is in Evercolor leather, so it is a softer leather than Epsom, which I personally much prefer because it's a little bit more pliable, so you can definitely fit something like AirPods in here a little bit more securely. But Bastias are so wonderful because they're definitely a little catch-all that you can just throw into your purse. You can put change in here, you can put little hair ties in here, you can have this in your bag just in case you need to remove some jewelry at any time. And again, because it does seem like many of you guys are fans of the mauve pale color, I thought that I had to give away something in this gorgeous little color. Not to mention, I do think that the Bastia complements Beton so well. They're just such beautiful, cool tone colors. And I do have to admit, right now my obsession is rose darling, but last year and in 2023, my obsession was all about mauve pale. So it still holds a really special place in my heart. So I'm really excited to give away one of these cutie quintessential Hermes small leather goods to one of you. So how to enter the giveaway will be super simple, and it'll be down in the description. It will only be open to US just because I feel like shipping is a little bit confusing these days, so unfortunately only to US at the moment. But I hope that one of you will enjoy this little piece of luxury. Okay, so that brings me to a wrap on today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me unbox this beautiful dream bag of mine. I cannot express how excited I am having my favorite bag style, which is the Birkin 25 in the hardware color that I am obsessed with at the moment, because you guys know I have transitioned like completely basically into white gold, so being able to have a Birkin 25 in palladium hardware is just so perfect for me. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below, and once again, the giveaway rules will be in the description box as well, so make sure to check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll definitely see you in the next one. Bye guys!